It is a hot, sunny summer day in the Rockies. Quite a contrast with when the Mets were last here in April. Temperatures were in the 20s. The snow was abounding. Far more than the Rockies could have anticipated. Lots of shoveling. Not so today. Temperatures have gone from the 20s back then to the 90s today as the Mets pay their return visit to Colorado to make up that lost game. At Coors Field in Denver, Colorado, the New York Mets play the Colorado Rockies. Thursday baseball presented by Time Warner Cable. Have a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Colorado. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling with you as the Mets play a makeup game from that April 17th snow out. The Mets played 3 games here back in April. It was awful. The temperature was in the 20s. It snowed, and the Mets lost all 3 games to the Rockies. Well, they're in stark contrast going on a very successful road trip right now. They're 6-4. This is the final game before they return home. Last night, Sean Markham won in Chicago, and one of the primary reasons he did was the sparkling defense the Mets played behind him.
You know, think about it, Gary. The night before, we talked about the outfield defense and the energy that they had out there. Well, when you have Sean Markham on the mound, he's only going to strike out a couple like he did last night, so you're going to have to play defense. 15 of the 27 outs came on the ground, some in spectacular fashion. Quintanilla was as good as he's been all year. This one in the 9th, just an outstanding play. David Wright also had a lot of plays in between hops, so great infield defense was the result of the shutout win last night.
The Rockies just returned from a 2-7 road trip that concluded in Boston yesterday, but they are a terrific home hitting team, and that's what Jeremy Hefner will have to contend with today.
Well, Hefner's pitched well. His ERA is in the 3s. In June, he's been outstanding. He had a relief effort here in one of those 3 games the Mets lost and did not pitch well. Hopefully he'll be better here today.
And on the other side, Tyler Chatwood, who began the year in the minor leagues. The Mets have seen him before. They've never scored a run against him, and he's off to a great start in his season.
Well, you see the stat there. He was recalled on April 24th, made that start. It was not good, but as you see by the graphic, he's been great ever since then.
So it's the Mets and the Rockies. A short visit to Denver before the Mets head home to begin a homestand tomorrow night. Into the wilds of the Rockies. Mets and Rockies, all the action on SNY. Watch more sports on more devices in the house than anyone else. Call 1-800-TW-CABLE. Time Warner Cable enjoys sports better. By LIU Brooklyn. You know you're good. Now find out how good. LIU Brooklyn, find out how good you really are. By Topps, rip a pack and collect all your favorite New York Mets. For giveaways, follow Topps on Twitter at Topps Cards and on Facebook.com/Topps. And by 2013, Lexus RX. MLB.TV is celebrating 11 years. Join the millions of fans and subscribe today. Watch every out-of-market game live online on your favorite mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV today. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. Here's your drive around the majors presented by Kia this afternoon. Derek Holland, the third complete game two-hit shutout in the majors in the last 2 days as he beat the Yankees 2-0. The Angels got 2 in the 10th inning. Albert Pujols with the RBI double to put him in front, and they beat the Tigers again 3-1. And Matt Garza went 7 innings, allowed 8 hits, struck out 10, and the Cubs beat the Brewers 7-2. Mets back in the Rocky Mountains. All the snow reserved for the higher peaks now. First pitch coming right up. The Diamondbacks at 7:10 p.m. Score both a ticket in the left field landing and a limited edition T-shirt for just $19. A limited number of tickets are available. Visit Mets.com or call 718-507-TIXX. Well, David Wright's going to get a night off today. Your Geico Mets starting lineup, just the second time that David has not started this year. Odd that it would be here at Coors Field, where he has had incredible numbers, but he needs a day off and, in fact, welcomed it today. So Zach Lutz will make just his second big league start. He'll play third base. And the two former Rockies, Eric Young and Omar Quintanilla, right at the top of the batting order, making a homecoming against Tyler Chatwood today.
Well, you can see the Toyota numbers on Chatwood. We talked to you in the open about how good he's been since the first start he's made. He's been good against the Mets, and he was involved in the big trade. Number one pick, Chris Iannetta, a catcher that never made it here for the Rockies, never stuck. They traded him to the Angels for Chatwood. And of course, like Rockies defense, Cargo in left field, Gold Glove does it all. Dickerson, Kadire in right field, 23-game hitting streak. Arenado, third base, great-looking rookie. Herrera, Rutledge, Helton. Herrera, of course, always hurts the Mets. And Rosario behind the plate, the home run hitter.
Conspicuous by their absence for Wald Weiss. Troy Tulowitzki, who's on the disabled list with a fractured rib. They hope to have him back by the end of July, but that's a huge blow because Tulowitzki was having a great first half. And Dexter Fowler, who's turned into one of the best center fielders and leadoff hitters in baseball, has been having a hand problem. He got hit by a pitch. He had some sore fingers. Then he hurt his wrist the other night swinging the bat, and he had an MRI today. No results yet, but they're concerned about Fowler as well.
Well, you have to be after hearing all the news about Mark Teixeira and how he's going to be operated on with that bad wrist.
Eric Young Jr. was very much looking forward to today. He'll be looking even more forward to tomorrow when he plays his first home game for the Mets. He said he will have tons of family and friends on hand at Citi Field tomorrow.
When we get off the elevator today at our floor here on the second floor, big, huge poster and picture of Eric Young in a Rocky uniform.
Well, he played his entire career here until a week ago. He was designated for assignment by the Rockies because they had a glut of outfielders. They called up Tyler Colvin to replace him. Colvin hasn't had a hit since he got here. Meanwhile, with Fowler hurt, if Young was still here, he'd now be the center fielder for the Rockies. So it's funny how things work out. But the Mets are thrilled to have Eric Young, who in 7 games has hit .414. Now, most of his at-bats have come as a right-hand batter, which is his better side because the Mets have faced so many lefties lately. Now he'll bat left-handed against Chatwood as the Mets get underway 2 months after the fact here in Colorado. And Young takes it low for ball 1.
Chatwood is a ground ball specialist. He does not give up many home runs, which is the kind of pitcher you need here at Mile High Stadium.
In fact, Chatwood has not allowed a single home run so far this year. There's a fastball for a strike, and it's 1-1. 44 2/3 innings, no home runs. That's the most innings of any pitcher to have a homerless streak in this season alone. And Young takes it high 2-1. If you go back to last year, Bobby Parnell actually has a longer homerless streak. He's gone over 57 innings without one. Look at Chatwood. First big league start, he allowed 2 home runs, but has not allowed 2 home runs in any start since then. So that's the kind of pitcher you need to have pitching for you at Coors Field. Omar Quintanilla on deck, Daniel Murphy behind him as the Mets try and get off to a fast start. It's always hard in these makeup games when you're the road team and you're coming in for just one day. Well, the Rockies are starting a homestand today, so it's like normal doings for them. Todd Helton handles the ground ball by Young, and that's the first out of the game.
No excuses, though. The Rockies got in here pretty late also, so.
But you know what I mean? They're coming home and settling in for a homestand. The Mets are leaving right after the game today, and after flying for 2.5 hours last night, they're going to fly for 4 hours going home tonight, get home very late, play the Nationals tomorrow night, day game on Saturday. It's an absurd piece of the schedule that has been created by the snow out back in April.
It's also, you couple that with the family trip, so there's just a lot of extra bodies on the plane.
Here's Quintanilla, hitless in his last 9 at-bats, but spectacular defensively yesterday. And he played for the Rockies here for parts of 5 years, from 2005 to 2009, so this has been a big part of his career here at Coors Field. As Chatwood misses away 1-1.
I was showing my age there. I said Mile High Stadium. I meant to say Mile High here at Coors Field.
It is Mile High. There's a purple line 7 rows from the top, designating where the Mile High line is. 2-1 to Quintanilla. There's that line designating 5,280 feet above sea level. Can you do that in meters?
That's right. 26 something, right?
Here's the 2-1, and Quintanilla fouls it away. Very interesting comments by Terry Collins today regarding the Mets shortstop situation. Ruben Tejada, who's out with a quad injury, is going to start his rehab assignment probably this weekend. And Terry said Ruben is going to have to earn his job back. He said there's no reason to take Quintanilla out of the lineup. And the other thing he said, because, you know, you can look at it on the surface and say, well, Quintanilla is a left-hand batter, Tejada's a right-hand batter. Maybe they can share the job. And Terry said, no, that's one position you cannot platoon at.
Yeah, he said in all his years in baseball, he has never seen it. It also is, when listening to Terry.
There's ball 4, and Quintanilla's on with a 1-out walk.
sometimes the media uses Terry for their stories, and sometimes as a manager, you can use the media. And that's really a shot across the bow for Tejada to read that at some point and know that, hey, you better work extra hard.
Well, it's been one of the themes, hasn't it, of this first half of the season for the Mets, that the days of the scholarship are over. Mets came into the season looking at Ike Davis and Ruben Tejada as two big pieces of their future. There's Murphy hitting third in the order with Wright having the day off, and he takes a strike. But Mets didn't hesitate to send Ike Davis down when they thought the time was right. And frankly, had Tejada not gotten hurt, he probably would have been sent down as well.
If you can't play, you go down or go away. That's what it seems to be right now. That's the way it should be, right?
Performance. It's a performance-based sport.
That's how it goes. All big boys here. That's the you're judged on what you're doing on the field, not on what you did.
Marlon Byrd on deck. Well, the only time that sometimes changes is through contract considerations, but that's one of the things the Mets have been trying to clean up. And the curveball, and Chatwood misses with that. That used to be his primary breaking pitch. Now he throws his slider a lot more, and he thought he should have had a strike call from Hirschbeck.
John Hirschbeck, he does know that we're here for one day, right? The Mets and the Rockies.
Maybe you'd like to extend it.
That was a good curveball there. Should have been a strike.
Chatwood, just 23 years old, got to the big leagues at just 21 with the Angels. Grounded slowly. Helton can't get it. The second baseman Rutledge does. And Chatwood covers for the second out as Quintanilla moves to second. So 2 out. There's your umpiring crew for this game. John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, has the plate. James Hoy, Bob Davidson, and Jim Reynolds rounding out the crew. So now Marlon Byrd will try and get the run in with a runner in scoring position and 2 out. Byrd at .255 with 11 home runs. The Mets saw Tyler Chatwood as an angel, and they saw him last year as a Rocky. 10 scoreless innings against the Mets in his career. However, in those 10 innings, 7 walks.
That's his Achilles heel.
That's always been his downside, and it's one of the reasons why he's really changed his approach on his breaking ball, throwing more sliders, and there's that slider for a strike, because he feels he has better command of it.
It's interesting. Jim Wright, the pitching coach for the Rockies, has always been very good at coaching the slider, and many of his right-handers here have adopted that in the starting rotation. Remember, their rotation last year was an upheaval.
Well, they changed the whole game plan, right? The 75 pitch limit, 4 starters, a passel of long relievers, and they declined to continue that formula this year. The problem the Rockies have with their pitching is they don't have a staff of strikeout pitchers. In fact, they're last in the league in strikeouts, and they've given up the most hits of any staff in the league. Now, you expect to give up a lot of hits here at Coors Field because of the great expanse in the outfield, but the lack of strikeouts makes it problematic. Lots of balls in play. Ground ball down to third. Arenado, the rookie third baseman, takes his time and throws out Byrd. Side retired. 3 ground balls for Chatwood in the inning. Jeremy Hefner heads to the mound for the bottom of the first. No score in Colorado. He's Corey Dickerson in his first week in the big leagues, getting the start for the injured Dexter Fowler. Michael Kadire, a 23-game hitting streak, tying a Rockies record. Rockies #1 in the National League in home runs, second in runs scored.
Well, there's Hef's Jaguar stats: 14 starts, great ERA. The unearned run has been the problem for Jeremy Hefner.
Eight of them in his last 3 starts, and Corey Dickerson attacking the first pitch he sees. Dickerson just up from Colorado Springs, where he was hitting .386 when he was recalled, just his 3rd big league start. 24 years old, out of a junior college in Mississippi, 8th round pick in 2010 by the Rockies. Made his debut last Saturday in Washington. And the fastball low and away from Hefner, a ball and a strike. Dickerson, then Josh Rutledge and Carlos Gonzalez. Even with Tulowitzki out, with Gonzalez hitting 3rd and Kadire hitting 4th, that is this year in the National League about as good a 3 and 4 tandem as there is.
There's Dexter Fowler. Day to day, or any day.
Well, they're going to have to wait to get the results of an MRI they took on that wrist, but they've got to be very concerned right now because Fowler is a huge piece of their offense, having another career type year. 2-1 to Dickerson, filling in for him. And the breaking ball fouled off, and it's 2-2.
Fowler was sitting next to the veteran Roy Oswalt, who will make his second start for the Rockies tomorrow. No?
Last night.
Couple days? Oh, last night he made it.
Oswalt struck out 11 in his first start. Not quite as dominant in his last start. But just rounding into form. Of course, his first 2 starts have been on the road. He hasn't started here at Coors Field as a Rocky yet. And Hefner misses low and inside, full count. Hefner's been pitching awfully well lately. Last 4 starts in the month of June, 1-1, 1.88. But as Ronnie mentioned, there's 8 unearned runs in those 4 starts. Have certainly played a factor. Did get a win his last start in Philadelphia last Friday night, scattering 10 hits over 6 innings. 3-2 to Dickerson leading off, and he taps one to short. Quintanilla hurries in, and he throws out Dickerson for the first out. So 1 out and nobody on.
Well, that defense we were raving about in the open, the Lexus Mets defense, Young, Lagares, Bird. Lagares in there because of the expanse here at Coors Field. Lutz, Quintanilla, Murphy, Satin. Lutz is starting at 3rd, and Recker gets the start behind the plate.
Well, Lutz just his 2nd big league start. His first one came here at Coors Field a year ago, April. Got his only hit in the big leagues in this ballpark. So back on some semi-familiar turf. Josh Rutledge takes a strike. Rutledge was the opening day second baseman for the Rockies, but really didn't hit. They sent him back down to the minor leagues. He's been back for about a couple of weeks, and for the most part has been filling in at shortstop for the injured Tulowitzki, but back at second base today. Carlos Gonzalez waits on deck.
Well, they had to get Herrera's bat in there, didn't they, Gary?
Well, against the Mets. Herrera just kills the Mets. There's the curveball from Hefner for a strike, 1-2. The Rockies, as always, more successful at home than on the road. But the gap is not enormous. They're averaging 5.5 runs per game at home, 4.1 on the road. So about a 1.5 difference. And Rutledge goes down on the high fastball, so Hefner has his first strikeout, 2 away. Interestingly enough, as you look at that last pitch, the Mets have a similar home road gap, except they're averaging 1.3 more runs on the road than they are at home.
They have to be after the last homestand where they couldn't get any runs at all.
So here's Gonzalez, who's having sort of a great year. There's Troy Tulowitzki looking bored.
He's like you. He's a Tootsie Pop fan.
I was going to say maybe it's a Dusty Baker toothpick.
Oh, like UL Washington?
Yeah, there you go. Well, he was having himself a phenomenal year before he got hurt. They hope to have him back in a month or so. Meanwhile, Gonzalez trying to pick up the slack. He's having quite a year in his own right, leading the National League in home runs with 21, 4th in the league in RBIs with 58, 2nd in slugging percentage, 1st in extra base hits, 1st in runs scored.
Sweetest swing in baseball.
Especially against the Mets. He has dominated some games against the Mets over the last couple of years. They're Time Warner Cable home run leaders. Dominic Brown homered last night for the Phillies in their 13-inning win, so one behind Carlos Gonzalez. 2-1 from Hefner, and it's pulled foul. 2-2.
A lot of cutters so far by Hefner against the left-handed hitters. A lot of balls inside against both Dickerson and now Cargo.
Well, that's been the game plan lately for Hefner, as it has been for Dylan G, to try and shake off early season woes. And I thought it was a good move by Terry Collins to jigger the rotation just a little bit to put Matt Harvey in front of Dylan G. So he not only splits up Harvey and Wheeler, he splits up Hefner and G as well.
You know, Hefner and G just throw too similar to have them back to back. You'd love to throw a left-hander Nice in there, but he's hurt.
Eventually, and Gonzalez goes down swinging, so Hefner with back-to-back strikeouts to finish off the opening inning. Good start for Jeremy Hefner. No score after one at Coors Field. SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, featuring pitch-by-pitch coverage, player cards, and in-depth stats. Check out SNY Game Day during every Mets game, now on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Josh Satin leads off the second inning for New York. Fifth start for Satin, as today he gets a start against a right-hander. 5 for 19, hitting a .263, takes a strike. Satin 1 for 4 in the game yesterday in Chicago. Zach Lutz on deck, and then Juan Lagares. 3 right-hand batters against the right-hander Chadwood, as the Mets field an irregular lineup today with David Wright out. I mean, with Duda on the DL, Davis in the minor leagues, and Wright on the bench today, this lineup has taken on a very different quality from the one that we were witnessing every day a few weeks ago.
Surprised that Neuenhuis was not in the lineup today. Terry said he just wanted to make sure he put, some of his regulars in there, and Bird is one of those.
Yeah, he said Bird will probably get a day off Saturday the next time the Mets face a right-hander, but those opportunities have been few and far between because the Mets have faced an inordinate number of lefties lately. The 2 in Chicago. They've got 2 coming up over the weekend against the Nationals. They face Detweiler tomorrow night, and then Gio Gonzalez on Sunday. Then they face lefties Monday and Tuesday against Arizona. Slider just missed 2-2.
Personally, as a manager, I would say to all the young guys, you were out there today, you've got the energy, go get them, right?
Well, other than Bird, it's a pretty youthful lineup on the field for the Mets today. I guess Quintanilla is the only other guy over 30, but he's got to play. Then we'll have a backup shortstop. Well, he started and stopped, but Bob Davidson couldn't call a ball because there was nobody on.
That's right.
Bob is here. He's umpiring at second base. Chatwood with a 2-2, and it's top toward third. Tough play for Arenado. Makes the bare hand stop and throws him out. Great play by Nolan Arenado. One away.
Well, everyone that we've talked to has been raving about this young man's defense. Looks it into the bare hand and a bullet over to first base. He was playing so extremely deep. I don't know if I've ever seen someone come in that far as a third baseman, make that play and get the out.
You know, the funny thing about Arenado, when he first got into the Rockies farm system, they did not like the way he played third base. And after his second year in the minors, they moved him to first. But he improved his agility, worked hard at the position, and won back the third base job, and now has become a quality third baseman. And it's not all that unusual when you think about going back to guys like George Brett and Mike Schmidt, who were not naturals at third base and became better as their careers went along.
Well, I think they get used to the speed of the game, too. I think that's the important thing. Coming out of a high school, El Toro High School, you come into the professional ranks, and at third base, the hot corner, that's where a lot of young players kind of stall a little bit, and I think that happened to Arenado.
Zach Lutz playing third base for the Mets today, getting just his second big league start, and he lays off the slider. Lutz's career has been one of fits and starts because of injury. Started out his career in Brooklyn after the Mets drafted him out of Alvernia College. His first game, he hurt his foot, didn't play the rest of the year. And that's kind of the way it's gone for Lutz, who's had some concussion issues, but was hitting well at Las Vegas this year. 286, 7 homers, 37 RBIs, and earned himself the promotion when Lucas Duda went on the DL last week. And now getting a chance to start today. He's had just one at bat since being called up. 2-2 from Chatwood, and he just got a piece of that. Hit it off the home plate umpire John Hirschbeck. Juan Lagares waits on deck. Mets have lost 7 straight to the Rockies dating back to last year, including the 3 snow-swept games they played here in April. Curveball off the plate, 3-2 to Lutz.
Well, Carlos Gonzalez, last 8 games is hitting .452 with 3 home runs, so that's a big reason.
And Lutz rifles one into left center. That's going to fall fast, and Dickerson comes on and makes the lunging catch. Ball stayed up just long enough for Dickerson to cover a lot of ground for the second out.
Well, Lutz broke his bat, so that really made Dickerson start a little late on that baseball, but he made up time and a nice diving catch. Could hear the sound of the bat breaking, and good speed there by Dickerson.
So 2 outstanding defensive plays by the Rockies to start this second inning. One by Arenado, one by Dickerson, couple of rookies. And now the rookie center fielder for the Mets, Juan Lagares, sitting at 229, and he takes a curveball for a strike. 27th start for Lagares in center field, and a month of games have been enough to see what he's capable of doing defensively. And that's still trying to get a handle of what they have here with Lagares as an offensive player.
I personally think he's hit enough so far, right, to stay in the lineup, but they'd like to see more, of course.
Well, that outfield's going to get crowded when Lucas Duda is ready to return and when Ike Davis is back in New York. Grounded foul. I mean, right now the Mets outfield defense is terrific. They've got more team speed on the field with Young playing left and Lagares playing center, but when you got your 2 big boppers back, you're probably going to have to play them almost every day.
I hear you, if they're big boppers. I mean, that's the big if.
Well, I guess it's a matter also of, what team you're trying to create. And Sandy Alderson has been very adamant about wanting home run bats in the lineup, but the question is, who are those guys? Grounded to the right side. Rutledge closing ground and throws out Lagares. So the ground balls continue for Chatwood. 5 of his first 6 outs. Got some good defense behind him in that inning. Jeremy Hefner back to the mound for the bottom of the second in the foothills of the Rocky Mountain. No score. Michael Kadire, the hottest hitter in the major leagues, will lead off against Jeremy Hefner as we start the bottom of the second. Kadire right now has a 23-game hitting streak going. It ties a Rockies club record, and it's the longest hitting streak in the major leagues this season. How did he keep the hitting streak going yesterday at Fenway Park? Hit 2 home runs.
That's legit.
Kadire's had himself a terrific career. Second year in Colorado after playing most of his career in Minnesota. Hitting .344 this year, 3rd in the National League. You see the hitting streak. Chance to break it today. Bichette is now on the bench as the Rockies hitting coach.
That's right.
Met fans remember Dante Bichette well, mostly for the first ever regular season game here at Coors Field. Another one of those really cold days.
Yeah.
Here he is, 35 degrees at game time. 5.5-hour game. And there is the record for Kadire. He hits in a 24th straight game. The first Rocky ever to do that. And the Rockies have their first hit of the game.
Well, Kadire's always been a good fastball hitter, a good high ball hitter. And that's exactly what he got from Jeremy Hefner. When you're locked in, it seems like you get your pitch to hit and you don't miss it. And you're in at bat. Bullet to center field.
So for a team that's had a lot of hitters and a lot of hitting over their 20-plus years, Michael Kadire now has the longest hitting streak in Rockies history. Now Willeen Rosario, the second-year catcher, hitting at .271, 12 home runs, and he's been red hot of late. .436 over his last 11 games, and takes a slider for a strike. And I was going to say about Bichette, that first ever game, 1995. First game at Coors Field after the strike delay to begin that season. 6 inches of snow the night before the game. 5.5 hours. Bottom of the 14th inning. Walk-off home run.
I remember that shot because he kind of threw his bat down and shook his hands to the bench.
Shook his fist at the bench. Yeah, the Mets didn't like that very much. That trickler will go foul. Rosario running it out will come back. It's 0-2. That same game, Todd Hundley hit the first ever grand slam at Coors Field, and then said after the game that the upper deck in right field, that third deck, was whispering to him, which drew the ire of the Rockies pitching coach at the time, Frank Funk. He did not like the fact that Todd was hearing whispers.
Todd always had opinions, you know.
Yes, he did.
He also could back it up, right? 41 home runs.
Yeah. Set a Mets club record and for home runs and a major league record for home runs by a catcher in a season. That was in 1996. Hefner ahead on Rosario, 0-2. And he hits a rocket to left field. Young toward the line. He won't get there. Manages to flag it down. Kadire will go to third. The throw coming into second, and Rosario slides in safely with a double. The 11th double of the year for Rosario.
Well, 2 similar pitches now. The high fastball to Kadire for the base hit, and another one hit to Rosario, who is just an outstanding hitter. Quick hands, powerful.
So the Rockies poised here in the second inning. Second and third and nobody out. Todd Helton comes to the plate. Helton has missed some time this year because of injury as he winds down toward the end of his career. He'll turn 40 years of age later this summer, and he has had a remarkable career. Those are his numbers against the Mets. How about his lifetime major league on base percentage? .419.
Incredible.
Almost incomprehensible.
Yep.
Does Coors Field have something to do with that? Yeah. But that doesn't take a whole lot away from Helton, who has just been a terrific player for a long time.
You know, he does something that very few hitters can do. He dives into the plate, but he also has quick enough hands to hit that ball inside. So in his prime, not too many holes in the swing of Todd Helton.
2,460 hits, 575 doubles, which put him 19th all time. And you see his active ranks more doubles than any active player. .417 on base percentage. Wow. Somebody would take that for half of 1 year.
A week.
Much less for a 16-year major league career. Infield back, conceding a run on a ground ball. 2-1 to Helton, and Hefner keeps that fastball low and away. Hefner's been throwing the ball harder lately.
Yeah.
See that fastball at 93 miles an hour earlier in the season. First 5 starts, his fastball averaged under 90 miles per hour. His next 5 starts, 90.5, and the last 5, 91.3. So his fastball velocity numbers are coming up, and with it has been increased success. Now behind on Helton, 3-1, and he hits one out to left center. Lagares eases over, tagging at third is Kadire. He'll come in to score as Lagares properly throws to third. Sacrifice fly for Helton drives in the first run of the game. 1-0 Colorado. 27 runs batted in for Helton.
Well, you got a professional hitter up there in a situation like that. Almost nothing you can do if you're Hefner. He's not going to try to do too much. You saw that swing, uppercut to get the ball in the air. Sac fly. You know, you're talking about the increased velocity of Hefner. You know, Kevin did a report earlier in the year about how he's trying to take that left back pocket and kind of coil it, move it towards third base, stay closed longer, and that's provided him with that uncoiling and throwing the ball a little harder.
There's Nolan Arenado, and he grounds one down to Lutz at third, handles it cleanly. Now Rosario takes off for third. Satin throwing across the diamond, and it goes awry. And Rosario comes in to score. 2-0 Colorado. Well, Lutz didn't really do a great job of looking the runner back, so Rosario took off, and Satin's throw sailed away.
Well, that's the key. All you have to do is look at the runner at second base. See how far he's off? He was off at least 20 feet, and he would have had him easy. That was a bad base running mistake by Rosario, and it results in a run. Go figure.
So Rosario takes third on the ground out, scores on the throwing error by Satin, and it's 2-0 Colorado. Now Jonathan Herrera bats with 2 out and nobody on. Out to left center, and Lagares easing back, side retired. But the Rockies played a couple of runs, the second one a gift. Another unearned run against Hefner. 2-0 Rockies. Time the Mets were here in April. There's plenty of play time, even a use for that Mr. Mets cap.
That's where it belongs, I'll tell you.
It's also interesting to note how much of the personnel in that picture has changed.
That's right.
Since the Mets were last here.
What was that like for you guys, you and Keith? Just miserable up here, wasn't it? I mean, how cold was it?
Let me tell you, the doubleheader that we played, where they had to shovel all the snow, and it took them 6 hours to shovel all the snow, and the second game went 4.5 hours. The worst day I've ever spent in a major league ballpark in 25 years of broadcasting. Of course, there's always some snow up where it belongs on the snow-capped Rockies. Keep it out of here. 93 at game time today. It's up to 95 now. Perfect with the low humidity. Anthony Recker leads off in the third with the Mets down 2-0. Tyler Chatwood has now gone 12 innings in his career against the Mets and still has not allowed a run. 95. 16% humidity. To another record. Well, today the Mets set a major league record. Most Alvernia College products in the lineup on the same day.
That's right.
2 with Recker and Zach Lutz.
What did you say? The Celsius number is higher today than it was the Fahrenheit number on April 17th.
I give credit for that to Jorge Castillo, who covers the Mets for the one of the Jersey papers. Higher Celsius number today than we had a Fahrenheit number. There's that Shuffle Brigade, which I'll never forget.
Wow. What was it, like all front office people?
It was
or?
Everybody they could possibly find.
Were you guys doing it?
I was not.
Oh. Greg Picker, Bill Webb out there?
The only Sandy Alderston went down.
Okay.
Grabbed a couple of shovels. Ed Coleman at one point was doing a little shoveling. Keith and I were keeping the booth warm here, waiting for the game to begin.
Well, I didn't ask about Keith. I knew that.
2-2 to Recker. And that misses low. Full count with Jeremy Hefner on deck, and then Eric Young for the Mets in the third. Recker making his 14th start. John Buck has caught a higher percentage of the Mets games than all but 2 catchers in the majors this year. Only Yadier Molina and Miguel Montero have caught a higher percentage of their team's games than John Buck. Buck has started 82% of the game.
Wow.
Molina 91%, but by the way, Molina yesterday didn't catch, played first base.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. (3-2) to Recker. Bouncing ball for Herrera to handle. And Chatwood continues to get the ground balls. 1 out and nobody on. Here's your AT&T trivia question for this afternoon. The Rockies' all-time leader in stolen bases.
That's an appropriate question today.
I got this one.
Okay.
See, how come that couldn't be the Stump Gary? It's a lot easier than yesterday's question. Jeremy Hefner. Well, we saw Sean Markham get off the schneid last night by getting a win. Jeremy Hefner needs to get off the schneid by getting a hit.
Well,
maybe not with that swing.
He's having a Eddie Lynch start to this season offensively. Eddie, my good friend, and he could hit all right, but he had 1 year where it just was miserable for him. I think 84.
Well, Hefner made the mistake of, in his second major league game, hitting a home run. He's only had 1 hit since. 2 for 39 in his career. But Chatwood falls behind him 3-1. Eric Young on deck. Already the 4-3 ball count for Chatwood, and he gets it full. So that's why, despite not allowing a hit, he's already thrown 48 pitches first time through the batting order. And Hefner chops one off the plate. If it stays fair, it's trouble, but it goes foul. Hefner almost had it. Their fields were washed out by Hurricane Sandy, and the damage to their facilities was devastating. SNY and New York Community Bank joined forces to help the Staten Island Little League with the SNY Play Ball Award. The $5,000 grant was used to make repairs and get their season back on track. To see more of their story and the stories of past recipients, go to facebook.com/SNY. Hefner, who legged that one out, back at the plate with a 3-2 count.
It was 82 for Eddie, 0 for 33 that year.
Well, Hefner strikes out for the 13th time in 20 at-bats. First strikeout for Chatwood on the afternoon, 2 out of the inning. That's almost, but not quite as bad as a Bob Buell year.
I've heard that he was couldn't make it happen, huh?
Buell, I believe, has the record. I believe he was 0 for 70. Of course, you know, pitchers pitched every 4th day back when Buell was pitching in the 50s and 60s. That's got to be tough.
Was Al Leiter was not a great hitter, right?
Al was not a great hitter, but he did have a triple.
He did.
Against the Braves. He hit it to left center field, and it trickled all the way to the wall, and somehow he legged it into 3 bases.
Best 2 minutes in sports, I bet.
Eric Young is 0 for 1. Grounded out to Helton, and he takes a curveball for a strike. Another curveball, another ground ball. Rutledge makes the play on Young, side retired. So Chatwood, after being handed the lead, hands the Mets a 1-2-3 inning, 2-0 Colorado. Too soon after 25 major league starts to say Matt Harvey's the best pitcher in baseball, but he's been the best pitcher in baseball this year.
Yes, he has.
And there are your city probables for tomorrow night. Harvey Friday night against the Nationals. He's pumped up. Ross Detweiler on the other side as the Mets open a homestand tomorrow night at Citi Field with Harvey on the mound. Matt and Dylan G both flew home from Chicago yesterday. G is going to pitch Saturday afternoon rather than make this brief stop in Denver. The plan last night was for Jeremy Hefner to take a 6 o'clock flight from Chicago to Denver so that he'd get here sometime before the wee hours. But his plane was so greatly delayed because of thunderstorms, he came back to the ballpark and flew with the team. Team got to their hotel about 2 o'clock this morning local time, which was about 14 hours before game time. Which is not terrible. The Rockies only got in about an hour before the Mets did. The harder part for the Mets will be the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Curveball hit weakly by Chatwood, who's got 7 hits this year. And Murphy throws him out 1 away. Let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt, whose report will help you enjoy today's game better. Brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Kevin?
Well, guys, the conversation in the bullpen yesterday in Chicago between Sean Markham and John Buck kind of went like this. Markham let go of a changeup, didn't like it. He said, you know what? That pitch stinks. We're not going to use it today. And Buck said, what? It's your changeup. You kind of have to use it today. And Sean said, nope, we're going to use a splitter today. And threw a couple more in the pen and then proceeded to use a split changeup a lot during the game. As a matter of fact, Markham got 2 strikeouts with the pitch, and results he was pleased with. Buck was still incredulous about it when I talked to him today. You know, pitchers will certainly do that. Ronnie, you could speak to this in a second, how you maybe incorporate something different, throw a new wrinkle. But Markham said he used it a lot. Buck said, honestly, every time it was a changeup type situation, I called it. The only difference that I saw is this had the sinking action. It had the speed differential, 5-6 miles an hour different. His other changeup, though, has a little bit more of a tail to it. He said, if it's me, I like him to keep that splitter and also have the changeup going forward. Markham said he's always toyed with it. Goes back to when he was in Toronto. He said a lot of guys started throwing at it that year. I always played catch with it, but never had the reason to bring it into a game. Yesterday, I did. My changeup has stunk all year, so we'll see what happens going forward. That's a guy that's looking for a win, right, Ronnie?
You know, sometimes you make up pitches out there, Kevin. I remember I was facing the Cardinals one game, and I was facing Coleman, and threw a fastball to cut on the inside corner. I ended up throwing 25, more than 20 cutters in that game. I had never thrown a cutter in a game before then. Just felt right that day. It was a very strange thing that happens out there sometimes.
It's funny because, you know, we didn't know while Markham was pitching last night that he had scrapped his changeup and was going with his split. And what we noticed is that his changeup was diving more, and it was a good pitch for him. And it turns out it was a pitch he'd never thrown before in a game. Corey Dickerson draws a walk. First walk given up by Hefner. So the Rockies have a 1-out base runner. There's Josh Rutledge, who struck out his first time up. Well, that's a big monkey off the back of Sean Markham.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he obviously pitched well enough to win on several occasions, most notably that great relief outing against the Marlins in the 20-inning game. But, you know, when you have that 0 next to your name, as much as people want to discount what wins and losses mean for pitchers, it means a lot to every pitcher to have a 0 next to your name.
Well, not only to be 0-9, but then go out and throw 8 shutout innings like he did. Just remarkable.
That one trickles away from Recker, and Dickerson scurries into second. So a wild pitch moves the runner up.
Watch Recker on this curveball, gets in front of it, but see, hits off his chest. And what catchers want to do is kind of square up so that ball comes back out to the pitcher, but that one just glanced off to the side.
You got to soften yourself and become a pillow.
Yeah, a beanbag.
Not a pincushion. So a runner in scoring position with 1 out. 1 out to Rutledge with Carlos Gonzalez on deck. There's a strike, 1-1. Kevin, a little contrast in the ballpark tonight to the feeling from the last time we were here.
I asked Tim Tuffle if he brought his shovel today. He said he left it at home. So that's different. It feels great to be out here in weather like this, that's for sure.
Make sure you hydrate and have your sunscreen with you.
It's actually the slightest nice little breeze.
I mean, we're in the shade, but it feels perfect to me.
Yeah.
And Rutledge hits one toward the middle, but over comes Quintanilla to grab it. And a close play at first, but he gets him 2 out as Dickerson goes to third. So 2 out, Carlos Gonzalez coming up, and now we see how the Mets plan to handle the big bats in the Colorado lineup. You got a runner at third and 2 out. You got Gonzalez at the plate. You got Kadire on deck.
Got to pitch to Gonzalez. Now you got to be careful, but Kadire's so hot. He's protecting Gonzalez right now. You know, when I say pitch a guy careful, is that you never give in to him. If you ever get in a hitter's count, you make sure that you still are shooting for the corners, not challenging him.
Recker sets up inside. Cargo pulls it the only place he could.
You know, there's some hitters you'll get behind, Gary, 2-0, and you'll go, here it is. Just I'm throwing it hard. It's going to be down the middle. We'll see what happens. Well, can't do it with this guy.
Well, if you're Jeremy Hefner, do you do that against anybody?
No, he doesn't do it again. Well, no, some of the smaller hitters, you know, guys who can't take you out of the ballpark, absolutely.
Again, Recker sets up inside. So clearly the game plan here is to keep Gonzalez, who has that great swing, from extending his arms.
You know, we're back in that a little problem again. We saw the wild pitch earlier in this inning. Dickerson getting off another 30, 40 feet off third base.
Lutz playing off the line against the left-hand batter. Fly ball deep left center, but Lagares has plenty of room. And that retires the side. A walk and a runner left at third. We go to the fourth at Coors Field, 2-0 Colorado. Signing his new book, Doc, a memoir. You can get your book signed and get a ticket to the game tomorrow. Book signing from 5:45 to 6:45. For tickets, go to Mets.com. Omar Quintanilla leads off the fourth inning and fouls one away. Quintanilla has been the only Met base runner so far today. He drew a walk in the first inning. Tyler Chatwood has held the Mets without a hit and gotten 7 ground ball outs through the first 3 innings.
Well, Bobby Guerin is in charge of the catchers, of course, coming over to speak to Anthony Recker after that inning, just probably telling him what he saw in that ball in the dirt that got away. In all fairness, it was a tough pitch. Ball bounced before the plate.
Popped up in foul ground. Arenado has room and makes the catch. 1 away. And Chatwood making it look easy. He's retired 9 in a row now.
Interesting. Omar Quintanilla, who got his start here, does not hit at this ballpark.
That's true. He's got a .240 lifetime batting average at Coors Field, which is the second lowest of any player who's had at least 200 at bats here.
I wonder if early in his career, as part of, he's got a little pop, and in a ballpark like this, maybe not swinging for a home run, but you know what I mean, trying to hit the ball 400 feet.
Well, I think it's natural that players get home run happy here, although, home runs don't fly out of here the way they used to. Now it's just a high average ballpark because of the expanse of the outfield since they put in the humidor. Curveball sits out of Murphy, and it's 2-0. Hasn't been a great road trip for Murphy, just 8 for 41 since the Mets left home. Mets playing the 11th and final game on this trip that started in Atlanta. Mets are 6-4 on the trip. And Chatwood is behind 3-0. Big difference for Murphy when he doesn't have David Wright hitting behind him. Marlon Byrd on deck. Chatwood's 3-0, and Murphy takes a strike.
Rosario, the catcher for the Rockies, always looks like he never catches a ball that he likes. It just seems unsure. The opposite of framing.
As a catcher, he's a great hitter. Check swing foul. Now what do you want on 3-1?
He's learning on the job, Rosario. He came to the big leagues quickly because of his great bat.
28 home runs as a rookie last year. He's got a great future. Walt Weiss first year as Rockies manager, and they've played well this year, although they've tailed off since Tulowitzki got hurt, and that's kind of been a pattern for them. Rockies have lost 10 of their last 14 to slip a game under 500, and yet still in second place and just 3 games off the lead in National League West that has been kind of challenged this year. And what that's created is an opportunity for the Dodgers after that horrible start to still be in contact. Curveball popped up. And the third baseman, Arenado, will take this 2 out. Here's your Mets upcoming schedule presented by New York Community Bank. You can listen to all Mets games on Sports Radio 66 and Sports Radio 101.9 FM WFAN. Mets return home tomorrow night to take on the Nationals. 3 games over the weekend with the Nats, and then 4 with the first place in the West Diamondbacks. There are your city probables for the series with Washington. Harvey against Detweiler tomorrow. Dylan G faces rookie Taylor Jordan, who makes his major league debut Saturday. And then Zach Wheeler, his first home start against Gio Gonzalez Sunday. Bird hits one to deep left field. Gonzalez is there, though, and that retires the side. 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Chatwood. He's held the Mets hitless for the first 4 innings. 2-0 Colorado. Home 4th inning, Michael Cuddyer leads off against Jeremy Hefner. Cuddyer singled to center his first time up to set a new Rockies record, hitting in his 24th consecutive game. And he came around to score the first Colorado run. They scored twice in that second inning. There's a curveball, and that is a half swing. He stops in time. James Hoy with the call, 1-1. In that second inning, one of the 2 runs unearned, which is a familiar feeling for Jeremy Hefner. 9 unearned runs now in his last 4 starts.
Just amazing, man. I talk about it all the time. This just seems to be one pitcher who gets all the runs, one who pitches in the rain, and one guy where the defense just goes to sleep.
Hefner's been behind in the count more than he'd like today. Jeremy's only pitched here at Coors Field once before. That was in that freezing series in April. He pitched an inning in relief and gave up a couple of home runs to Dexter Fowler and Troy Tulowitzki. The Dyer hits it to right, but right at Bird in the sunshine, 1 away. Now, you know, for a guy like Hefner who is so reliant on his breaking stuff, and I don't know if you can really speak to this pitching at altitude here, but pitchers say all the time that you have to work so much harder to make your pitches break.
Well, what happens because of the high altitude, you know, part of it, if you remember your high school physics or whatever, when you get that ball turning and the seam's starting to hit the air, well, of course, if you're not at mile high, that ball is going to grab more, and it doesn't here. So less rotation, less spin, less drop in the curveball.
There's Willie and Rosario reaching for one and fouling it off. So how do you compensate for that?
Well, the end result is what he's doing now. He's throwing a lot of cutters, a lot of fastballs in, a lot of changeups as a pitcher can go to, and he's just showing his curveball. So that's what he's done so far.
Todd Helton on deck.
So cutter instead of the slider. So it's tightened it up a little bit. Curveball just for show. He's bounced a couple. And pitching in, and the changeup should not be affected as much.
Your ERA leaders in the month of June, brought to you by Time Warner Cable. And Jeremy Hefner is in the top 5 in the National League in June. Only 1 win to show for it, but it's in part the result of all those unearned runs. And there's a curveball, and Rosario just got a piece of it to stay alive. Well, Rosario hit the ball very hard his first time up, a double down the left field line. And then kind of stole a run, breaking for third on a ground ball to third base. And then when Josh Satin threw it away, came in to score the second Colorado run. And he hits a rifle shot up the middle. And Rosario is 2 for 2. Third hit for the Rockies off Jeremy Hefner. 1 out and 1 on, and Todd Helton the batter. Helton drove in the first run of the game with a sacrifice fly.
Both Tennessee quarterbacks now here in Denver, right?
Well, one time Peyton Manning was the backup to Todd Helton with the Volunteers. It didn't last very long. But Helton, you can be sure, never lets Peyton forget it. Popped up into shallow left center. And Young is there. And Helton retired, 2 out. This is a remarkably good crowd for a makeup game. There are a lot of people here. Normally makeup games, you just get a scattering of fans. I think with this glorious weather and the sun tanning opportunities, especially out of the rock pile in center field. I mean, that thing was absolutely empty when we were here in April. That's the rock pile. And, you know, it's the equivalent of the bleachers here, very inexpensive seats. You know, the Rockies, when they first came into the National League, played at Mile High Stadium, the home of the Broncos, and they could put 80,000 people in there. And they had what they called the rock pile there, the very distant seats out in center field in the upper deck. And it proved to be they sold the seats for $1.
Wow.
And it proved to be so popular that they wrote it into the plans for Coors Field. Bird puts away the fly ball by Nolan Arenado, and that gets Hefner through the 4th inning. Hefner pitching well, but so far Chatwood better. 2-0 Colorado after 4. Mets Nationals opener. Plus, follow the latest results on where David Wright stands in the All-Star balloting with the David Wright All-Star Game Vote Tracker on Mets Blog, presented by Verizon, part of the SNY.TV blog network. Josh Satin leads off the 5th inning. Mets down 2-0. Satin had a slow ground ball, and Nolan Arenado, the third baseman, made a terrific bare hand play to throw him out in the 2nd. That's helped Tyler Chatwood to hold the Mets hitless over the first 4 innings. The Mets have had just one base runner, a 1-out walk to Quintanilla back in the 1st. Since then, Chatwood's retired 11 straight. The Mets had just 12 hits in their 2 games in Chicago, and yet nearly swept a 2-game series from the White Sox. There's a fastball strike from Chatwood, 1-1. Tyler Chatwood has been one of the most pronounced ground ball pitchers in the major leagues this year, and it's worked for him so far this afternoon.
Kind of has the same build as Roy Oswalt, doesn't he? 6 feet, about 200 pounds.
Probably doesn't throw as hard as Oswalt did when he was a young man.
Oswalt, different pitcher, a guy who could strike you out with a high fastball on that great slow curve.
Chatwood's only made 8 starts. Started the year in the minors. Missed a start a few weeks back with some triceps pain. But since coming back from that, he's pitched extremely well. His last start in Washington, he went 6 innings, allowed just a run on 4 hits. Wound up a no decision for him. One thing about him, though, he hasn't thrown 100 pitches in a game yet this year. And he's had a lot of deep counts, so he's closing in on 70 pitches in the 5th inning. And another full count, 3-2 to Satin, who's had a penchant for those deep counts.
Pitching coach Jim Wright.
Seems so unusual to come here and not see Bob Apodaca, who was the pitching coach here for so long.
He's still in the organization, though.
Ball 4, and Satin's on with a walk. Second one given up by Chatwood, and that snaps his string of 11 in a row retired. So the Mets get the leadoff man on for the first time, and Zach Lutz comes to the plate. Lutz was robbed of a hit on a diving catch by Corey Dickerson in center field his first time. Lutz got his only big league hit to date, April 27th of last year here at Coors Field. Pops this one up to shallow right, a long run in for Kadire, and he won't get there, a base hit. Hustling to second is Satin, and Zach Lutz has his second big league hit. A pop fly single, the Mets' first hit of the game.
Well, nice job done here by Josh Satin. This is a tough ball to read. I think the ball's up there so long that it's going to be caught. But that's the problem with playing in Colorado here, is that the outfielders play so deep, so you get a lot of these base hits in front of the outfielder.
So the Mets with an opportunity here. The tying runs on base with nobody out. Juan Lagares the batter. Lagares grounded out his first time up. And Lagares drops down a gorgeous bunt. They'll never throw him out, and the Mets have the bases loaded. He couldn't have rolled it out there any better. So a bloop and a bunt, and the Mets have the bases loaded and nobody out.
Well, they're playing deep because the bottom of the order is coming up. They don't suspect that Lagares is going to bunt this baseball, so he catches Arenado asleep.
So now a chance for Anthony Recker with the bases loaded and nobody out. Recker grounded out to short his first time up. So the Mets' first real threat of the game. A walk, a bloop hit, and a bunt hit. Bases loaded with the 8 and 9 hitters coming up. Recker 2 home runs, 8 runs batted in, 47 at bats this year, and he takes inside for ball 1.
Heck of a time for Recker's first grand slam, right?
This will be the place for it. He breaks his bat. Arenado's got it. He's coming home. Gets the out there. The relay to first. Not in time. James Hoy was about to put up his right hand, which would have been the wrong call, but he correctly calls Recker safe. So Arenado turning down a chance for a double play and gets the lead runner at home.
Well, I don't know if this is the right play because this would have been an easy double play going to his left, but he decides to get fancy, gets the runner at the plate, and they still almost turn two. Whenever you're moving to your left, you're usually taught to complete the double play. Well, he tried this way, and Recker just got there.
He also had Lutz running in front of him as he made that throw home, which might have caused him to short arm it just a tad, which might have, in the end, cost him the chance for the double play. So now Hefner bats with the bases loaded and one out. Hefner struck out his first time up. This would be a great spot for his first hit of the year. 0 for 20 to start the season. 13 strikeouts. And of course, if you're the Mets here, you'd prefer the strikeout to the double play. Lutz at third, Lagares at second, and Recker at first with one out. And Hefner squaring to bunt. It's not a squeeze play, at least not a suicide. Not sure if that was something Hefner did on his own as Lutz dives back into third.
Well, that makes it really difficult on the runner. When he's squaring, he's thinking that he's going to bunt it down, and good hustle to get back. It's not a good play by Hefner. Swing the bat.
Unless it was a design safety squeeze, which is hard to believe.
Well, with the force at home, though, it's not a good play.
Well, now Chatwood's behind on Hefner 2-0, so you want Jeremy to take a pitch here, I would think.
Maybe take two.
And that's ball three. Well, maybe the best thing Hefner could do would be to rest his bat on the shoulder for the next three pitches and hope he throws ball four.
Maybe that's what he was doing, 1-0, Gary, just faking that bunt to try to get deeper in the count because he was going to take a strike anyway.
We talked about it earlier. Chatwood's Achilles heel sometimes is the base on balls. He's walked two today. Now there's a strike, 3-1. I mean, you have to figure that Hefner will get the take sign again.
You have to because of, he's not, you detailed it before. He doesn't have a hit. He strikes out a lot. Put the pressure on the pitcher to make 3 strikes in a row. Pitcher is telling the catcher, touching his cap like, think out back there.
Ground ball. Backhanded by Herrera. Gets the out at second. The relay not in time as a run comes in. So Hefner drives in his first run of the year, gets Lutz in from third, and it cuts the Rockies' lead to 2-1.
Well, the best play here is not only by Herrera to get it off, but how about Anthony Recker coming in hard? And that's what you got to do. Put a lot of pressure on Rutledge, and that's why they didn't turn two. The bench will appreciate that effort by Recker.
So a run is in, first and third and 2 out, and a chance for Eric Young to get that tying run in from third. Young coming back to Colorado, 0 for 2 so far. Nice takeout slide by Recker. Rutledge able to get the throw off, but certainly impeded, and enabling Hefner to beat the play at first. So here is Young, and backhanded by Rosario awkwardly. Lagares creeping down the line from third, hoping that ball will get through.
Well, he's looking for a sinker away, and that ball on the other side of the plate, very difficult, but Rosario got it.
Have to make like a shortstop going in the hole for that ball. And Young swings over the breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Eric this year has hit 100 points higher as a right-hand batter than he has as a left-hand batter. 329 right-handed, 229 left-handed coming in. You see Rosario giving the signs to the infield.
Well, it's interesting there. Rosario 2 pitches into the at-bat giving the signs of what they're going to do on the first to third play. Could have been a little late.
Of course, you got the pitcher Hefner running at first, so that's not really likely. Young pops one up down the left field line. Over comes Gonzalez into foul ground, sliding, and he makes a brilliant catch. The Gold Glover Carlos Gonzalez with a gem. Had to come an awfully long way and catches it sliding to end the inning. Mets scratch out a run halfway through at Coors Field, 2-1 Colorado.
because of rain, but Matt Harvey's last start in Philadelphia, yet another dominating performance. 6 scoreless innings against the Phillies, throwing harder than ever. The fastball velocity, as the weather has gotten warmer, has only increased, and Harvey had himself a terrific day until the rain delay forced him out. He even produced with his bat. He knocked the glove off the pitcher's hand at one point. He drilled a double here to drive in a run. Big day for Matt all around.
I've never seen a team confused by the first pitch, as you see the numbers for Detweiler and Harvey. First pitch to Jimmy Rollins, curveball for a strike. Jimmy got out of the box, looked at his bench, looked at the Mets bench, and said, what's going on here? Come on.
Wait a second, he can do that too?
And there's his ranks.
Well,
wow.
He has jumped into the lead in ERA, just a shade ahead of Jeff Locke and Clayton Kershaw. Leads in strikeouts, opponent's batting average, and just about everything else. And he will pitch tomorrow night for the Mets at Citi Field against the Nationals. Last time he pitched a Friday night against the Nationals at Citi Field, that was the day he faced Steven Strasburg and outpitched Strasburg. And, you know, you hate to overstate the case, but it was almost like a changing of the guard.
Yeah.
I mean, Strasburg is the guy who's gotten all the attention the last 3 years. And Harvey basically said, hey, it's mine now.
It's been a strange year for Strasburg because
a little flare by Herrera, and he's got himself a base hit to start the home fifth, as he always does against the Mets. Jonathan Herrera pitching in.
Strasburg is 4-6. His ERA is in the 2.4s. Last year, his ERA was in the 2.4s. He was 9-1.
Strasburg pitching this afternoon in the Nats series finale against Arizona, and that game's 2-2 in the 8th, and Strasburg is done for the day. Chatwood grounded out his first time up. He has 2 sacrifices this year, but he's also a good hitter. And he bunts it, goes foul. Strasburg went 7 today, allowed 2 runs, 6 hits, 113 pitches. Matched up against Patrick Corbin, who's also out of the game. He went 7, 2 runs, 5 hits, so he'll stay unbeaten.
Unbeaten, but he hasn't won in, what, 5 starts now.
David Ardsma getting his stretching in. Got to hydrate, got to stretch. It's dry, high altitude. Chatwood 7 hits and 18 at bats this year, so no guarantee that he's going to be bunting. And Chatwood again up the first base line, and again foul. 0-2. Let's check in with Kevin.
Jeremy Hefner knows that he has to earn the trust of Terry Collins and everyone that watches him pitch, for that matter. He told me the other day, you know, I feel like I still have to overcome the reputation of a swing guy, and rightfully so. Hopefully, if I can kind of continue on the pace I've been on for the rest of the year, I could at least start to change that conversation. To be fair, last year, every bad inning I had, I felt like I was going to Buffalo as soon as the inning was over. This year, it's been much different for me. I think you could see that Hefner's confidence is at a different level. He said there's been other things too, like Dan Worthen has helped me with a couple key things like this, thinking before a game and not during it. And I don't mean I'm not thinking at all during a game, but I think there were times where I just wouldn't trust the work. See if the bunt gets down here. Nope.
Edward takes the swing and fouls it off.
And he said, you know, I put in this work and then I would just overthink it during the game. He said, now I feel like I'm trusting the prep that I put in. I'm doing that and I'm feeling good about it. That's been a big key for him. He said the other thing which I've realized this year, which I think I pressed a little bit too much, sometimes you're going to make good pitches and get hits. You know, I mean, that's going to happen. And I think, you know, I kind of panicked and maybe went away from what I wanted to do last year when there were hits allowed. Sometimes this year I've realized, hey, that was a good pitch. Credit to the hitter.
Swing, line drive, caught, runner caught off first base, doubled up. Brilliantly executed by Quintanilla. Herrera didn't know whether that ball had dropped or not, so he was frozen, and Quintanilla with a quick toss to double him up.
It was a good call by the second base umpire. Called it as soon as he saw that Quintanilla had control of the baseball, and really nothing Herrera could do. He can't call that a bad running mistake because he didn't know if it hit the ground or not.
So the Rockies take off the bunt on 0-2, have Chatwood swing away, and it results in a line drive double play.
If you're going to err, though, err on going back to the bag. If you trapped it there, you're not going to break up the double play anyway.
Right. let them get the out at second, and Chatwood then might be able to beat it at first. So 2 out and nobody on, and Dickerson fouls off the first pitch.
I think, Kevin, when you talk about Hefner, he's pitching with a lot more confidence. And you talking about overthinking, the key is that what you do in between is you get ready for your starts, and then when it is your start, you compete. And that's what he's doing now.
He's had another fine day. He's given up just 1 earned run so far. Battling in a 2-1 game in a very tough park to pitch in. Ahead on Dickerson, 0-2. And he gets the half swing. Did he go? He went around, strike 3. Third strikeout of the day for Jeremy Hefner as he sets the Rockies down in the bottom of the 5th. On to the 6th we go with the Mets down 2-1. This came from Chicago, which has some of the most unique architecture in the world. Denver, underrated.
Yeah.
I mean, downtown Denver has certainly picked up since they put this ballpark into the lower downtown area. Omar Quintanilla leading off in the 6th inning takes a strike.
They also have some amazing modern architecture here, downtown and around.
Quintanilla has walked and fouled out 0 for 1. And he grounds one toward the middle of the diamond, but Herrera is there behind the bag. 1 away. And ground balls continue for Tyler Chatwood. That's 10 of them in this game.
At least the Mets finally scored a run.
Well, they got the least out of the most. They had the bases loaded and nobody out, and were able to scratch out 1. They've had just 2 hits this afternoon, a bloop and a bunt. Daniel Murphy 0 for 2. He's grounded out and popped up. And the curveball from Chatwood misses 1-0.
See, the shadows are just starting to play a small factor here in this game.
Driven to right center field. That's down for a base hit. And so Murphy has the hardest hit for the Mets this afternoon. Their 3rd hit of the game against Chatwood, and the tying run aboard with 1 out. Thursday Baseball on SNY is brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Watch more sports on more devices in the house than anyone else. And call 1-800-TW-CABLE. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy sports better. As Marlon Byrd is grounded out and flied out. Ronnie mentioned the shadows a moment ago. It's a very strange configuration here in Denver. The way they've turned this ballpark, the sun sets in the left field corner. And as the hour gets closer to 6 and 7 o'clock local time, the sun will be right in the eyes of the first baseman as he looks across the diamond. Sometimes it's a big issue early in night games in the summertime. And Byrd takes a slider for a strike. Marlin is grounded to third, fly to left, 0 for 2. Josh Satin waits on deck. Mets have been getting terrific pitching and fighting it out in close games throughout this road trip.
6-4 record, and they've been walked off 3 times.
It's amazing, isn't it? And 2 of those walk-off wins, they tied the game with 2 out in the top of the ninth. Those are games you usually expect to win. But in both Philadelphia and in Chicago, it wound up as a loss. So it's rather remarkable with all that they have a chance to go home with a 7-4 record. They won 3 of 5 in Atlanta, 2 of 3 in Philadelphia, split 2 in Chicago. 1-1 to Byrd. And Marlin hits it right off the pitcher's leg. And everybody's safe. A bullet off Tyler Chatwood. And now they're going to see if he's okay.
What, did it hit him in the back leg or foot as he followed through? No, just off the look like the right knee.
Was it the knee, or did he get his leg turned so he got it on the calf? I couldn't really tell. In any event, the trainer is out along with pitching coach Jim Wright, manager Walt Weiss, all to see if Chatwood's okay, and he'll throw in a warm-up pitch to make sure. He's nodding, but he didn't look very sure of himself walking back toward the rubber, did he?
Well, what's happening now, this is when it really starts to ache. You know, the initial shock of it is gone, and now you're starting to feel the soreness. Happens pretty quickly. Let's see where he catches this again. Hard to tell.
Somewhere on the right leg,
yep.
So it's the push-off leg, not the landing leg. And as you always say, that's probably better.
Yeah.
Because the landing leg takes much more of the abuse.
You're right, though. The answer you want, if you're the trainer, the head coach, and the pitching coach, is, hey, I'm good. I'm good to go. You don't want, I don't know. Not bad.
Definitely does not look 100% sure of himself. Rob Scahill getting up in the bullpen, but they're going to let Chatwood continue. So 2 bullets in a row from Murphy and Byrd. The hardest hit balls for the Mets all day. And now they've got the tying run at second, the potential go-ahead run at first, and 1 out.
It's pretty interesting. Walt Weiss stood off to the side. Really let the trainer and the pitching coach take care of that situation with Chatwood.
So with Murphy and Byrd aboard, Satin the batter. Josh walked his last time up. 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Turning toward evening. Still 95 degrees. Well outside, and that's got to be a bit of a warning sign.
Well, he's done it all game, though. Every time Rosario sits inside for that sinker, he misses away badly. This is where, as a manager, you got to kind of read this quickly, because you got a lead, and if it's not right, you go to the reliever.
Lead could be gone in a big hurry. Satin hit 9 home runs at Las Vegas this year, but he pops it up. Infield fly rule called as Rutledge settles under it, and that's the second out. So a big out for Chatwood, and the Mets now with 2 on and 2 out, and Zach Lutz coming up. Lutz at a pop fly to shallow right field that fell in for the Mets' first hit. That was in the 5th inning. Just the 2nd hit of Lutz's career. Now batting with a chance to get the Mets even or in front with the tying run at second and the go-ahead run at first in a 1-run game. Chadwood, who has not thrown 100 pitches in a start this year, at 87 right now with 2 out in the 6th. And the action continues in the Colorado bullpen. 2 on and 2 out, and Lutz takes the curveball for a strike. Bob Scahill out behind the bushes. And Chatwood quickly ahead on Lutz, 0-2.
Again, Chatwood reminds me of Oswalt in the way he pushes off the mound. He's might be short, but he's got big legs, and he uses them to produce that torque and movement on his pitches.
And after taking a shot off his leg a moment ago, ahead on Lutz, 0-2, and Zach fouls back the high fastball. Again, the 0-2, and the slider is down in the dirt. 1-2.
There's a motion to Chatwood on that last pitch. Curveball, really tucked. And see how he has that long stride. Knee almost hits the ground, and that long push off.
1-2 to Lutz. And that's taken low. 2-2. Juan Lagares would be next. Two on, 2-2 to Zach Lutz. And the curveball misses. That one slipped a little. And it's 3-2. So now the runners will be in motion. Old Weiss keeping a close eye on his right-hander after he took a shot off his leg 2 batters ago. Murphy at second. Bird at first will be running with 3-2 and 2 out. Chatwood was ahead 0-2 on Lutz. Now he's 3-2. And he walked him, and the bases are loaded. Nice job by Lutz after falling behind in the count. He's aboard for the 2nd time, and if you're Walt Weiss, what do? You got Juan Lagares coming up with the bases loaded and 2 out. He's going to send his pitching coach Jim Wright out. Of course, they were out a moment ago because of injury. That does not count as a visit. So this is technically the first visit of the inning.
A lot of it has to do with the pitcher you're bringing in, Gary. If Scahill's a guy who doesn't walk a lot of people, is a strike thrower, you might think of bringing him in. If he's more of a wild card, then you stay with your pitcher.
But you really probably don't worry about that with Lagares because he's a guy who has not shown the ability to work out a walk. 107 at bats, just 2 walks for Lagares, who's actually now gone over 100 plate appearances between walks. So Chatwood will stay on to face Lagares, who had a bunt base hit in the 5th inning.
Chatwood unusual. He's been asked twice now if he's all right within an inning.
Well, you got third baseman playing back. You think Lagares would try it again? Try and get that tying run home that way?
Renado's moving in a step.
Laced foul. 94 from Chatwood. That's as hard as he's thrown all day. So he's sensing the end of his performance this afternoon at 95 pitches and trying to get through this inning with the lead. Mets with 2 singles and a walk have loaded the bases for the 2nd straight inning. And Lagares able to lay off a ball and a strike. Juan has been, when he's gotten in these situations, he's generally swung at just about everything. Murphy, Bird, and Lutz the base runners. Lagares trying to use controlled aggression here. He's hitting just 160 with runners in scoring position. Curveball bounced foul.
Dave Duncan, the great pitching coach, used to always say, you know, when the bases are loaded, it's a tense situation for the pitcher. But he said it's just as tense for the hitter. They want to come through so badly that sometimes they'll expand their strike zone.
That's where guys like Robin Ventura, Eddie Murray were so great. They wouldn't give the pitcher anything. Let them get in trouble. Instead, it's Chatwood ahead on Lagares, 1-2. Up and away, 2-2.
95 miles an hour, Gary.
Well, he's trying to finish with a flourish. Lagares trying to ruin it for him. A base hit here could give the Mets the lead. He doesn't want to go to 3-2. And Lagares fouls away the cutter. Still 2-2.
Well, you like to see what Lagares is doing here, right? He's trying to hit the ball to right field.
Something that he's really become better at since he's gotten to the major leagues. Anthony Recker would be next. That's down a run in the 6th. Bases loaded, 2 out, 2-2 to Lagares.
On the outside corner, strike 3 call. John Hirschbeck punches out Juan Lagares on a borderline pitch. And that's how the top of the 6th comes to an end. Wow. 2-1 Colorado. Colorado batting order. Josh Rutledge is 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded out, but the 2 big bats behind him, Gonzalez and Kadire. And he flips a curveball in for a strike to Rutledge, 0-1. Rutledge trying to take one the other way, and he fouls it off, 0-2. Well, the Mets had themselves a chance in the top of the 6th inning. A pitch that I'm not sure John Hirschbeck had called a strike earlier in the game.
Well, you feel bad for Lagares because I thought he took a nice at bat there, fouled off some tough pitches.
Rutledge takes one down the right field line, but it slices foul.
It felt like that pitch maybe out of the strike zone. He would have worked it to 3-2, but not to be.
Sometimes it's hard being a rookie in this game. And you're not sure, did I do the right thing by taking that pitch, or did I do the wrong thing? Rutledge gets jammed and flies one out to left, and Eric Young puts it away, 1 away. Let's check in with the studio. Brian Custer standing by with his Tri-Honda game break. All right, Brian. Carlos Gonzalez up for the Rockies with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Hefner's done a good job against Cargo so far today. He's struck out and flied out. National League's leading home run hitter. And he grounds one foul. First pitch changeup. 0-1. Michael Kadire waits on deck. Rockies got both their runs in the second. A single by Kadire, a double by Wheeling Rosario, a sacrifice fly, a ground out, and an error, combining for the 2 runs. Satin handles that ground ball, and Carlos Gonzalez now 0 for 3. So Hefner continues to do the job. Just waiting for the Mets to get more than 1 run. 2 out and nobody on. Of course, Hefner's driven in the only run for the Mets.
That's right. Beat out that double play grounder.
Well, here's Kadire, who singled back in the second inning to push his hitting streak to 24 games, the longest in Rockies history and the longest in the major leagues this year. And Kadire went around on the slider. Michael Kadire, who grew up in the same part of the world as David Wright and Ryan Zimmerman and the Upton brothers. He's a little older than that group.
What's that called? The Chesapeake area? Or
Hampton Roads.
Hampton Roads.
Chesapeake, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth. They used to call it the Tidewater area.
That's
but
right.
Then they rebranded.
Oh, they did? They wanted a better name?
Hampton Roads. Hampton Roads sounds good. Tidewater sounds like, you know.
I know. I was there. I played for the Tidewater Tides.
You know what Tidewater sounds like?
Yeah.
Flushing. Past the mound. Hefner can't get it. Murphy does. The quick toss not in time. And Kadire has an infield hit. Nice diving effort by Hefner. And just hit too slow for Murphy to throw out Kadire as deep as he was playing. So Kadire, when you're hot, you get hits like this.
Well, playing deep, there's really nothing you can do. Hefner tried his best. Murphy got in front of the ball, but that throw going away, not enough on it.
So a 2-out base hit, the 5th for the Rockies, and Willie and Rosario, who has 2 of those 5 hits, will come up. Dan Warthen's going to head out to the mound to make sure Hefner is okay after making that dive.
Well, I think he gave up a couple of hits to Rosario too. So what you do in this instance, where this is the biggest part of the game now for Hefner, 2 outs, you got a guy in first. Rosario's hit you pretty well. You know, remember what we talked about at Rosario. We got to do this, we got to do that. You haven't done it in the first 2 at bats.
You know, the other piece of this too, we're in the 6th inning on a 1-run game. There was a time earlier this season where there'd be action in the Mets bullpen behind Jeremy Hefner, but I think he's earned a lot more trust off his performance the last month and a half.
Not only has he earned, but the starting staff has earned as a quintet a chance to pitch deeper into games.
Gary Collins, Dan Warthen talking about who's available, what their next move is beyond Hefner, who will get a turn at bat in the top of the 7th. Kadire, the runner at first, he can steal a base occasionally. Grounded down foul outside third. 0-1 to Rosario. You see the Mets lineup card in the dugout. Hefner due to bat second when the Mets come to bat in the 7th. You see the little 7 next to record? That's indicating that he will lead off the 7th.
That's right.
That way they never risk forgetting who's due up.
Well, someone used a calligraphy pen to make out that lineup. Both the Rockies and the Mets lineup, very well done.
Rosario doubled down the left field line, single to center, both hits coming on 0-2 pitches. That is some lovely handwriting.
That's someone went to Catholic school there, I'll tell you that.
There goes Kadire, swinging a bouncer to third. In comes Lutz to grab it, and the wide throw. Satin with the tag on Rosario. Side retired. 6 good innings for Jeremy Hefner. His work is done. Now the Mets will try and get him some runs. The Atlantic City Food and Wine Festival, a 4-day extravaganza, July 25th through the 28th. Tickets are available at acfoodandwine.com. By Astoria Federal Savings and by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, you see Terry Collins, he's going to go explain to, one, he wanted to see how Hefner's doing and explain to him what he's going to do, whether he's going to be up there to bunt if Recker gets on, if Neuenhuis is going to hit for him.
I'll tell you, the only way Hefner's staying in the game is if Recker hits a home run. Of course, Kirk Neuenhuis has come out on deck to pinch hit. Rob Scahill will be the relief pitcher for Colorado.
He spent a lot of the season in AAA, appeared in 6 games last season. Sinker, a good 94-mile-an-hour sinker and slider, does not strike out many.
Tyler Chatwood went 6 innings, cruised through the first 4 and had to wind his way through the last 2. He allowed 1 run and 4 hits, walked 3 and struck out 2. Recker will lead off. Neuenhuis on deck to bat for Hefner, and then Eric Young as the Mets bat in the 7th. Recker's 0 for 2. He batted with the bases loaded and nobody out in the 5th at a broken bat grounder into a force at home. He laces this one to center, but on comes Dickerson to grab it. A hard hit ball by Recker. 1 pitch and 1 out.
Bad break for the Mets and Recker there. He couldn't hit the ball any harder than he did right there.
So now Neuenhuis, whose opportunities have been few and far between since being recalled. Last day of the Mets' last homestand, he hit a memorable 3-run homer to beat Carlos Marmol and the Cubs in Marmol's final act as a Cub. But Troy Hawkins up in the Mets bullpen. But Neuenhuis just 5 for 42 at the plate this year. 3 of his 5 hits, though, have come as a pinch hitter. Kirk, who grew up here in Colorado, at least went to high school here. Great football star who ran for over 250 yards in a championship game in the snow here in Colorado. A legendary Neuenhuisian performance.
Yeah.
Strokes one foul, and it's 2-1. Rockies right now are operating without their closer, Rafael Betancourt. He's expected back tomorrow from the disabled list. He's out with a groin injury. But the guy who's replaced him, Rex Brothers, normally the setup man, has been untouchable. Ground ball over the mound toward the middle, base hit. So Neuenhuis, 4 pinch hits and 11 pinch hit at bats. That's a new role for him.
Yeah. On
so
base.
The Mets get the tying run on.
On base and got some speed, too.
So Eric Young will try and make something of it. The Mets went without a hit for the first 4 innings, but they loaded the bases on a couple of hits and a walk in the 5th, scratched out a run. Got 2 more hits and a walk in the 6th and failed to score. And now they've got a 1-out hit in the 7th against Scahill.
Well, double play depth up the middle. Tough to turn 2 against Eric Young. Defense in the outfield pretty deep. Pinching in is Arenado at third base.
You always have to respect the bunt with Young at the plate. Eric's 0 for 3 last time up. He had a foul fly that Carlos Gonzalez made a terrific sliding catch on. It's low and inside. So Scahill throwing hard, but having a little trouble with his control. 1-0. Scahill out of Bradley University in Peoria. So he's played in Peoria. Each team with 5 hits. That's with a tying run at first and 1 out. Mets with their ex-Rocky factor here in the 7th. Young at the plate, Quintanilla on deck.
Be interesting if they can come through against their old mates.
They overlapped for 1 year here. Quintanilla's last year and Young's first year with the Rockies was 2009. Ground ball should be 2. The turn by Rutledge, and they double up the speedy Eric Young Jr. to end the inning. 6-4-3 double play. 7th inning stretch time. 2-1 Rockies.
to replace Jeremy Hefner, who was splendid again today, but finds himself on the short end of a 2-1 score. 33rd appearance for Hawkins. You see the numbers there. Gave up the game winner in Chicago on Tuesday night to the White Sox. Well, Major League Baseball very into voting these days for things. Of course, we know the All-Star game with David Wright. The Futures game and the All-Star game at Citi Field with the kids is the same way. Brandon Nimmo among a host of candidates who fans can vote in to play in that Futures game. You can do it at Mets.com. And I got an update on Brandon Nimmo. Now, he started the year absolutely on fire, but unfortunately he got hurt. He had a left hand contusion, put him on the DL for 3 weeks, and he hasn't quite been the same since he's come back. But generally, Mets people are happy with what they've seen out of him at Savannah this year, as Todd Hilton will lead it off against Hawkins here in the 7th. And he takes upstairs for ball 1. As Daniel Ricco said, the one thing about Nimmo, he's been one of those guys who really gets what we're trying to do, and he's really coachable. I mean, he listens and he applies. And, he's doing what he needs to do. If things continue to go well, he'll find himself in Single-A St. Lucie when it's all said and done. Give you an idea about his character. After the Mets drafted him, they sent him down to the Dominican, like they do with a lot of guys, but they suggested stay down there for 2 weeks. Nimmo stayed down for a month. Why? He wanted to get in green with his teammates, and he wanted to learn Spanish to communicate with them better. That's the type of character that he has. But here's the real problem going forward, guys, on Nimmo. It's this. Right now he's in center field, and you talk to people around baseball, and they don't know if that's going to be his position. The jumps on balls are a little bit of an issue. He's got an average arm. So if he doesn't end up in center field in the long term, he's got to hit for more power. He's not right now. Something the Mets feel confident he can do, but not showing it just yet. Let's go back to you.
Well, just 20 years old. Still very much a work in progress. Didn't play a whole lot of baseball before his professional career, but seems to be making strides as Todd Helton takes up and away 2-2.
Like Harper's age, 20.
Well, yeah. Not quite the experience that Harper had.
Really, right?
Ages, 16, 17.
Harper took his GED so he could go to college. Play against better competition.
2-2 from Hawkins, and Helton pops one foul. Helton drove in the first run for the Rockies, a sacrifice fly in the second, flied out in the fourth. Jeremy Hefner, another hard luck game in that an unearned run could be enough to beat him. He went 6, allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 1 wild pitch. His ERA down to 3.72. He continues to pitch well, but he won't get a win today. Hawkins, whose error cost him a loss on Tuesday night, where he fumbled a sacrifice bunt attempt, and he strikes out Helton with a curveball. Nice job by LaTroy Hawkins to get Helton one away.
Well, they don't see a lot of breaking balls from Hawkins, and I think this is a good idea to use that pitch. Again, the shade is coming in here in the ballpark.
Yeah, this is not an easy time to be a hitter. Pitcher in sunlight, batter in shade. Now Nolan Arenado, who's 0 for 2, grounded out and flied out. Arenado came into the year as the Rockies' #1 prospect. They brought him to spring training camp last year and gave him a chance to make the ball club as he goes around in that half swing, but he didn't hit in spring, and it wasn't until late April this year that they thought the time was right to bring him up. He has certainly excelled with his defense, and lately he's been hitting as well. 7 home runs and a shade over 200 at bats, hitting at .266.
2 years ago, he had 20 home runs and 122 RBI in Modesto. So
122 RBIs in a minor league season.
Yeah,
it's almost impossible,
right? What do they play, about 130 games?
140, 144, okay, somewhere in there. Done by Labor Day. Hawkins ahead on Arenado 0-2 with Jonathan Herrera on deck.
Troy Hawkins, 89 miles an hour. Usually you see him 92 plus.
Here's the 1-2. And it's low and away. Well, one thing about the thin air, it might hurt your breaking ball, but it helps your fastball.
Yeah, it should pierce right through the air a little quicker.
Fouled at the plate. Jeremy Hefner, by the way, finishes June, 5 starts, a 1.80 ERA in those 5 starts.
And 1 win and could take a loss here. Wow. I mean, there was a day if someone asked you, how'd you pitch in Coors Field? Well, I pitched 6 innings, gave up 1 earned run. Wow, that's great, you won. Well, not really.
Two from Hawkins to Arenado. And the curveball swung and missed, but it gets away from Recker. And Arenado reaches first base safely. So he swung at a breaking ball that was so bad that he winds up on base.
Just like the one before. See how the body of Recker is just turned a little bit open to his own dugout. And that deflection straight to the dugout.
So it's a strikeout, the second for Hawkins, but a wild pitch allowing Arenado to reach. And now Jonathan Herrera will be the batter. Tyler Colvin has come out on deck to be a pinch hitter as Matt Belisle works in the Colorado bullpen. Herrera 1 for 2, single to left his last time up. 1 of 5 hits for the Rockies today. The Mets have 5 as well. And a strike call to Herrera. It's like Artie Johnson on Laugh-In, right? When he used to hide behind the bushes.
That's right.
Very interesting.
That's stupid.
Slash to third. Lutz to Murphy for 1. Can they double up Herrera? They do. 5-4-3 double play to get Hawkins through the 7th. On to the 8th we go. Mets down 2-1. Stolen bases. That would be the senior member of the Young family, Eric Young Sr., who came out of Rutgers and had a terrific career as a leadoff man with the Rockies. But his best known moment as a Rocky wasn't a stolen base. It was the home run that he hit leading off the first inning in the first ever Rockies home game before 80,000 fans at Mile High Stadium.
That was at Mile High Stadium.
33-year-old Matt Belisle comes on to pitch the 8th inning.
Boy, 37th game. He's got over 400 in his career. Solid career for Belisle.
Omar Quintanilla leads off and takes a strike. So the two ex-Rockies, Young and Quintanilla, have combined to go 0 for 6 today. Omar did draw a walk back in the first. Daniel Murphy, Marlon Byrd to follow. Keep in mind the Mets have David Wright available as a pinch hitter. It's a curveball for a strike, and even though David has not had much luck in his few outings as a pinch hitter, Terry will not hesitate to use him today in a crucial spot. Boy, the hitters are really having trouble picking up the ball right now.
I mean, he swung that bat when the ball was in the glove, and it deflected off the kind of hand of Rosario. Watch this late swing, and then right off the outside part of the wrist for Rosario. And you're right, it's just almost not fair.
Pitcher in the sunlight, and they're going to be for a little while longer. That's the problem with playing late afternoon games. It becomes an even bigger problem when they play them in October, when they really count the most.
Right.
0-2 to Quintanilla with Murphy on deck. And Omar fouls it back.
Better swing there by Omar.
Murphy retrieves.
Usually I've found when I pitched in this kind of weather that the high fastball was the pitch that the hitters would have a hard time seeing and would swing through.
Lyle doesn't throw as hard as he used to. He still averages about 90 with his fastball. Strike three call. Got him looking. Quintanilla struck out for the first out of the eighth.
Oh, this is a strike here. Right on the corner. True. Good frame by Rosario.
Definitely more of a strike than the one Lagares was called out on to end the top of the sixth.
That's a perfect pitch.
So one out now. Daniel Murphy, who singled to right center his last time up, 1 for 3 on the day, and a knee-high strike to Murph. Tyler Chatwood went the first 6 for the Rockies, allowed a run on 4 hits. Rob Scahill worked the 7th, no runs and 1 hit, and now Belisle trying to set it up for Rex Brothers, who, as we mentioned, has been almost untouchable this year. Little chopper over the mound, tough play. Rutledge and Herrera come together, and Murphy is safe. He didn't realize that he overran first, otherwise he might have had a notion about going to second. But Rutledge and Herrera get all messed up and entangled.
Well, it's interesting, the two shortstops, Rutledge and Herrera. What Rutledge has to do here is give way, because the only way that play can be made is with the shortstop coming that way, his momentum going towards first. Murph hustling, and then finally makes the turn, but no chance then.
So the Mets have the tying run aboard with 1 out. Their 6th hit, Murphy's 2nd, and both Rutledge and Herrera are just fine. Now Marlon Byrd, who hit a bullet off the pitcher's leg for an infield hit his last time up, 1 for 3 on the day. Mets could use one that travels a long way through the thin air right about now.
Well, Marlon can do it. If they get down to the order past Satin to Lutz, I'm sure you'll see David batting.
Well, you could bat David for Satin if Byrd doesn't get the job done here. Or you can save David for the 9th inning, when you might have the lower third of the order coming up, and you'll have a lefty in the game in Brothers. And tied to Byrd, 1-1. Satin on deck. Lutz would be behind him. Lyle's given up only 2 home runs in 39 innings this year. He throws one by Byrd, 1-2.
A little cutter here from Belisle that beats Marlon Byrd. One thing you've got to remember as a right-handed hitter here, just drive the ball. Right center field is your friend here too. Ball travels.
That's 375 to right center. It's like 330 in a regular ballpark.
That one got Kevin. That got Kevin.
They've been aiming at him all year.
They got him.
And he finally takes one.
He's got a Bud Selig mark on his back now. Poor Kev.
Couple of seams.
That's 2 in a row. I mean, not 2 in a row, but 2 in this at bat by Byrd.
And Belisle ahead, 1-2. And Byrd fouls off the fastball. Belisle throwing hard. 92, 93 miles an hour.
Bird's had a couple pitches to hit, though.
Lyle first came up with the Reds 10 years ago. He's now in his 5th year in Colorado. He has had an awfully good run as a guy who will pitch 75, 80 games a year.
Murphy at first and 1 out. He's running, and it's dropped by Rosario, and Murphy steals the base. Hang on, Murph. Hang on.
He's one of a kind, isn't he?
One a day. You always get one a day by Murph. Something. Well, Murphy's Law. You get a Murphy-ism every single day. Good break, though, by Murph. Head down. Late slide.
And Murphy had a stolen base in Chicago. He's got one here, his 8th of the year, and still trying to figure out what happened.
So now a base hit could tie it for New York. 2-2 to Bird. And Marlin hits a high fly ball, left center field, pretty deep. Back goes Gonzalez, back near the wall. It's out of here! Marlin Bird gives the Mets the lead with a 2-run homer. Number 12 for Marlin Bird, and the Mets are in front 3-2.
What a June Marlin Bird has had. That entire at bat, just trying to go deep. Not many times you see a hitter trying to do it and accomplishes it.
6 of his 12 home runs have come in the month of June, and none bigger than that one. That turns the game around here in the top of the 8th.
Fastball down and just hit up in the air. And when it's up in the air here, you never know.
And that is not the easiest part of the ballpark to hit it out of. Right where that angled fence is, it's a good 410 feet away. So Belisle gives up just the 3rd home run he's allowed this year. As Marlin Bird, after the base hit by Murphy, fell behind in the count, fouled off a couple of pitches, and then took one out of sight through the thin air and giving the Mets the lead. Satin hits a curler up the middle, and that's a snake for a base hit. So Satin has his first hit of the afternoon, and the Mets have 3 straight hits against Belisle here in the 8th. The ball turned about 17 times on its way to center field.
A ground ball up the middle, you're right, going through the pitcher, and this time Herrera and Rutledge a little hesitant to crash into each other again.
So Jeremy Hefner off the hook. LaTroy Hawkins now pitcher of record on the long side. And the Mets look for more with Zach Lutz. Getting the start for David Wright today. A bloop single and a walk, 1 for 2. The only time he was retired, it was a diving catch by Corey Dickerson in center field. Well, the Mets had the bases loaded in the 5th and 6th, but managed just 1 run out of that. But here in the 8th, they used the long ball to take the lead. And Lutz takes the curveball off the plate, 1-1. So Belisle resorting to his 3rd and 4th best pitch. Nobody throwing in the Rockies bullpen. This is all on Belisle here in the 8th. This is the last day that the Rockies are expecting to go without their regular closer, Rafael Betancourt. And so Walt Weiss calling on Scahill, a guy who usually works early in their game, to pitch the 7th. Belisle, more of a 7th inning guy, to pitch the 8th. In tight to Lutz, 2-1. Mets have David Aardsma and Scott Rice up in their bullpen. Rockies will have 9, 1, and 2 in the batting order coming up. With a clean inning, you can save Cargo and Kadire for the 9th. 2-1 to Lutz. Fastball by him, 2-2. Juan Lagares waits on deck. Satin at first and 1 out. And Lutz down on strikes. Good slider by Belisle to get him, 2 out. Second strikeout for Belisle. Let's check in with the studio. Brian Custer is there with this game break.
Pedroia having a pretty good year.
It's better than his MVP year.
I mean, he's only got 5 home runs, but
doesn't matter. The runs batted in.
He's a heart and soul guy, isn't he? Who produces.
He brings a toughness to that team that probably he replaced Varitek as far as the leader of that team and clubhouse.
0-2 to Juan Lagares, who has a bunt single in 3 at bats. Pedroia's on base percentage right up around 400. Satin at first and 2 out. 0-2 to Lagares. And he lays off the slider. 1-2. By the way, they're in the 11th now in D.C. Nats and Diamondbacks tied 2-2. A game that was started by Steven Strasburg and Patrick Corbin, both long gone.
It's going to be interesting to see the Diamondbacks right next week to come in for 4 games.
The Mets will see the Nats and then the Diamondbacks. 7-game homestand starting tomorrow night. Matt Harvey and Dylan G sitting back in New York, I'm sure watching the game right now.
And then off the next road trip is to Milwaukee. You're going to see them for the first time.
Milwaukee, San Francisco, Pittsburgh. That takes the Mets up to the All-Star break. Yeah, I know the geography is a little off.
That's right.
Here's the 1-2. And it's nubbed up the first base side. Helton fields it cleanly, and that retires the side. But the Mets grab the lead in the top of the 8th inning. Marlon Byrd slugs his 12th home run of the year. 6th in the month of June. And this one turns a 2-1 deficit into a 3-2 lead. As we head to the bottom of the 8th at Coors Field. Left-hand pinch hitter Tyler Colvin. So Terry makes the move to Scott Rice. And so we'll take a break. Verizon Fios call to the bullpen. 3-2 Mets in the 8th. We'll be right back. Scott Rice comes in to pitch. Walt Weiss counters with DJ LeMahieu as a right-hand pinch hitter. And it's lined right up the middle of base hit. So in the battle of the chessboard moves, Walt Weiss comes out a winner. DJ LeMahieu with a base hit, and the Rockies have the tying run on to start the bottom of the 8th.
Well, it's been a struggle for Scott Rice. Last 14 outings, he's given up 9 earned runs, so he's trying to turn it back to where he was earlier in the season.
Now Corey Dickerson, the left-hand batting leadoff hitter, comes up, and we'll see how Weiss decides to play it. Dickerson in just his 3rd big league game, 0 for 2 and a walk. We don't know if he can bunt. That's certainly suspect that he might.
Well, if they think he might, then Lutz has got to come in more than he is. Never gave it away. That's a good play by the Mets right there. Have your pitcher throw to first. See if the batter will tip his hand. Dickerson did not.
Rice has had a rare 3 days off in a row since his last outing in Philadelphia. It was on Saturday. And he's not bunting, and Dickerson takes a strike. So it's an interesting spot to put a rookie lefty against lefty. 3rd big league game. Josh Rutledge on deck. Carlos Gonzalez behind him. 3-2 New York, bottom of the 8th.
A lot of signs there by the third base coach Cole. Maybe he was given 1 pitch. Now maybe the bunt's on.
Recker setting up inside. The runner goes. Rice picks him off. Satton's throw out at second base. LeMahieu running on first movement. 1-3-6 on the caught stealing for a big first out.
Well, after good hitting, just a bad play here by LeMahieu. Just cannot let that happen. I mean, that's just guessing wrong what that is. And nice move by Satton to get inside to give himself a little bit of room to make that throw to Quintanilla.
You know, Satton coming up has never been known as a defensive player. He's done nothing wrong at first base since the Mets put him there this week. 0-1 to Dickerson, and he tops one foul. You know, Josh first came up as a second baseman. They've played him in third. They've used him in the outfield. First base is probably his best position, but he's looked awfully good, and he's taken charge as well.
He has. You know the interesting thing now, Gary, we've been traveling around. We're watching the Mets now through all of these games. Boy, a lot of teams make a lot of mistakes over and over that they play.
By the way, I don't want to discount the throwing error Satton made earlier today, but there's a good slider to get Dickerson, and that's the second out. But you know what I mean, just in terms of his actions around the bag, that throw which so many right-hand first basemen have trouble with going to second.
Yeah, made it look easy.
David Ardsma, Josh Edgen up in the bullpen. So 2 out and nobody on. And Rice will apparently stay in to face Josh Rutledge, even though there are no lefties left on Walt Weiss's bench. I guess they want to keep him in the game in case Gonzalez comes up. There's that splitter to start him off. 0-1. Rutledge 0 for 3, struck out, grounded out, flied out. Rex Brothers, who has been serving as the closer, normally the 8th inning guy for the Rockies, up in the bullpen. Bounced down to third and through into left field for a base hit. So Rutledge finds the hole. Tying run on base. Carlos Gonzalez coming up.
Well, Lutz was on the line, and he was not as deep as you usually see third baseman, and that ball easily made it into left.
So here is the spot that Scott Rice is here for. The lefty trying to get the left-hand hitter out. It's the biggest bat in the lineup. Dan Warthen's going to come out for some counsel. So what does he tell Rice?
Well, what's he going to tell Rice is that this is a tough foe for Rice to face. Carlos Gonzalez is a good down hitter. That's where Rice makes his bacon. But he's going to explain to him that he is a free swinger. He will swing at balls off the plate, and he's going to have to use that slider early and often. You know, the thing about Gonzalez makes him so tough is the lefty-lefty matchup. If you center that fastball up and out over the plate, he can flip you over that left field wall as easy as he can take you in the upper tank down the right field line.
He does not give much away against lefties. He's hitting .311 with 6 home runs against left-hand pitchers this year. Rutledge the tying run at first with 2 down. 2 hits in the inning off Rice. But now the biggest out for him to get against Gonzalez is 0 for 3 today. Struck out, flied out, grounded out. And it bounces away from Recker. And down to second base goes Rutledge. The 3rd wild pitch for the Mets today.
Well, fastball that he just bottoms out. See that glove? He puts that in front of him. He needs to have that off the side because he keeps hitting the heel of the glove and bouncing away.
So now pick your poison. First base open. If you walk Gonzalez, you're putting the go-ahead run on base. But Michael Kadire, who is the hottest hitter on the planet, is on deck. Frying pan or fire? 2-0 to Gonzalez. Well, you certainly don't want to groove one to Carlos Gonzalez.
No, you pitch carefully. You hate to put the go-ahead run on base, but still, 2-0 count. You can't go after Carlos Gonzalez. He's too hot, having too big a year.
Well, if you walk Gonzalez, then you bring in Ardsma to face Michael Kadire.
Slider 2-0 would be the pitch of choice here.
Tying run at second and 2 out. And Gonzalez swings at that off-speed pitch and fouls it off.
I don't know whether that was the split finger or the slider, but good choice by Rice. Down and away. Can't do anything with that. Interesting that Gonzalez's back foot almost loses its place as he swings.
2-1 to Gonzalez. And he bounces it foul. Fastball low and in, 2-2.
Good pitching by Rice. Crowding him in, making sure that if he goes away, he'll get away maybe with a mistake. Nothing you could do with that pitch. In on Gonzalez, he can only pull it foul.
Kadire would be next.
Nice pitch here with do the same thing inside, but have it in the dirt.
Tying run Rutledge at second with 2 out. 2-2 to Gonzalez. He struck him out. Scott Rice with a huge strikeout gets Carlos Gonzalez to strand the tying run at second base. 3-2 New York. Rockies.
31 straight scoreless appearances. He throws 95 plus. Last year had a great year for Colorado also.
Bobby Parnell getting ready for the save opportunity. Mets trying to get him some insurance in the ninth. Recker, then Andrew Brown is out on deck to pinch hit. And then Eric Young here in the top of the ninth. And Anthony hits one in the air to right center. Right there is Dickerson. One pitch and one out. So Recker is retired. And now Andrew Brown, who has already shown off his home run power on this road trip. Brown homering in Atlanta, homering in Chicago. Started the last two games as the DH against the White Sox. Went 2 for 7 with a home run on Tuesday night. A 2-run homer by Marlon Byrd in the 8th inning, and then Scott Rice makes it stand up, striking out Carlos Gonzalez in a big spot. And Brown takes it wide for ball 1. Mets 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. The Rockies 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. There's a good slider by Brothers, 1-1.
Straight over the top.
Eric Young on deck. Rex Brothers out of Lipscomb College in Tennessee. Dents the outside corner with that fastball, 1-2. 32 innings, 1 earned run against Rex Brothers, a 0.28 ERA. How's that even possible? One-two to Andrew Brown. You just got a piece of that. Coming up tonight on Geico Sports Night at 10:30, the NBA draft and all sorts of stuff going on there, and the latest on the sad saga with Aaron Hernandez. Geico Sports Night tonight at 10:30, only on SNY. Anthony Bennett going #1 in the draft.
Wow.
Forward out of UNLV to Cleveland. He can play. Here's the 1-2. Just off the corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nerlens Noel is supposed to go #1.
Yeah.
With the 6.
Well, you know, he had knee surgery, right? So it scared a couple of teams.
Maybe it was the hair.
Yeah, right.
Two and two to Brown with 1 out and nobody on. And Andrew watches low and away. Full count. We talked about it earlier. These are tough games to play. You come here for one day, you fly in, you fly out, you're heading home at the end of a long road trip. And the Mets have kept their heads in it all day long.
Sometimes you peek ahead instead of staying in the moment, and it's only human nature.
Best performance by a road team in a makeup game. Remember the Joel Pinheiro game at Shea Stadium?
That's right. What did he throw? 8 shutout innings?
It was the last week of the season when the Mets were battling for a playoff spot that they fell short of. Strike 3 called. Got him looking. Terrific at bat by Brown until that last pitch.
Well, fastball on the knees, inside corner. You can see why Brothers has that streak going. Throwing on the corners and on the knees.
Would have been a tad low.
Yeah. Well, there've been a couple against the Mets today. Questionable.
Yeah, the big one, the Lagares one in the 6th. Bases loaded, 2 out. And Tyler Chadwick, the last pitch he threw, knees in black, got the call.
This is exactly the kind of game, though, you can win with if you're the road team, is that you get good pitching from your starting pitcher, and then someone hits the ball out of the park.
Which Marlon Byrd did to give the Mets the lead in the 8th. Now Eric Young flares one into shallow right, and that's going to fall for a hit. So EY gets his first right-handed at bat, and we've talked all day about how much better he is from the right side. Didn't hit it hard, but he found a grassy spot in right field for his first hit back in his old haunts. Tomorrow night, Matt Harvey takes the mound for the Mets in the opener of the homestand against the Nationals. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 6 o'clock right here on SNY. And Ronnie and I will be stifling yawns and letting Keith do all the talking.
Uh-oh.
Well, most of it anyway. Here's Omar Quintanilla, 0 for 3 and a walk. And a snap throw bounced in there by Brothers. Well, they know that this is a spot where Young is almost certainly going to try and steal the base. 2 out, looking for an insurance run. Not much power at the plate with Quintanilla.
We saw LeMahieu for the Rockies go on first movement. I think that EY should do that also. If he doesn't have a good read on Brothers, and he should, because he's seen him pitch.
Well, we're also right at that time of day now when the sun is right in Todd Helton's eyes. So, you know, that can play into it too as he tries to make a play. If Brothers does throw to first to catch Young, there's that sun right in the first baseman's eyes.
Might be high enough here, but the shadow's still a problem. Maybe not. Look at
Quintanilla trying to bunt his way on, and it just goes foul. And fortunately for Arenado, otherwise that would have been a double, and Young might have scored all the way from first base. Wow.
I've never seen that happen before. You saw he just grazed it, though, once it was foul.
Imagine if that had been a fair ball.
Bunt, RBI.
Quintanilla's 0 for 3 and a walk today. Young at first and 2 out, and Brothers will take another check on him. One thing about it, if anybody knows how to play first base with that sun in their eyes at Coors Field, it's Todd Helton. He's done it longer than anybody. Practically since they built this place.
Is this the last year of his contract this year? I think so.
It is.
Yeah.
He'll turn 40 years old in August. Good block by Rosario that time. Momentum carried him almost all the way back out to the mound. And Helton knows how to go about it. He's got the sunglasses on.
Got his own burger shack. That's what happens when you play.
No ribs?
People in our exactly. People in our trucks said tremendous burger. Better than Keith's?
Better than Keith's?
I don't know. Keith's got the avocado.
And the Tootsie Pop. I guarantee you Helton does not have a Tootsie Pop. What is it about those number 17s at first with the burgers? Here's the 1-2 to Quintanilla. And he just got a piece of that slider. Daniel Murphy would be next. Kadire, Rosario, and Helton coming up for the Rockies in the bottom of the ninth. Rosario sets up outside. And Quintanilla goes down on strikes. 96 from Brothers to end the inning. So now it's Bobby Parnell's turn. And the first man he'll face will be the hottest hitter in the National League. Parnell against Kadire. Mets up 3-2 in the ninth. 13th save. This one might be a little tougher.
There's saves and there's save opportunities, and this one real tough. Kadire, Rosario, and Helton are going to face Bobby Parnell, who didn't get a lot of save chances for a while. Now they seem to be coming in bushels.
Michael Kadire 2 for 3 today on a day when he set the Rockies record for the longest hitting streak in club history, 24 straight games. Singled and scored back in the second when the Rockies got both their runs off Jeremy Hefner. Only one earned run against Hefner in 6 innings, with Troy Hawkins and Scott Rice each contributing a scoreless inning. And now it's Parnell to try and save it. Kadire 2 for 3 as we start the last of the ninth. 3-2 New York. And Kadire swings and misses at the curveball. 0-1.
Kadire knows with the shadows. He was guessing their fastball. Nothing wrong with that. Nice counter by Parnell.
Rosario on deck. Helton behind him. And Kadire tops one foul. Another breaking ball from Parnell. 0-2. Well, we talked about it earlier in reference to Tyler Chatwood, who hasn't allowed a home run this year. Bobby Parnell has not allowed a home run this year. In fact, he's now gone 57 1/3 innings going back to last year without allowing a home run. He's become a ground ball machine when he's not striking people out. Up and away to Kadire, 1-2. Whereas this is a ballpark that will challenge your ability to keep the ball in the yard. David Wright's had the full day off, hoping the Mets can win it without him. 1-2. Just missed. 97 from Bobby. 2-2.
That's real close. That's a pitch that Hirschbeck has been calling. Put that one off the plate.
Now it's 2-2 to Kadire. And again off the plate. Full count. Well, Parnell had him 2 strikes with a couple of curveballs, but has not been able to find the plate with the fastball.
Have we seen the 3-2 breaking ball from Bobby Parnell this year? I don't know.
3-2. Hit sharply under the glove of Satin, and Kadire is aboard. He's going to take a turn, try for 2. Here comes the throw by Bird. He is out. He got him. Marlon Bird guns down Kadire for the first out.
Base running mistakes in the last 2 innings by the Colorado Rockies. Aggressive play here by Kadire. First, not a good play here by Satin. He turns his body, lets the ball go through him, but good hustle by Bird. Never gave up. And then just a one-hop seed to Quintanilla. You see Kadire almost like looking at Bird, didn't think he was going to get there in time. Tried the aggressive play, and it cost him.
Well, Bird has been huge in big spots for the Mets this year. Remember the play he made in Chicago to throw out the tying run at the plate? Here he throws out the tying run at second in the ninth. 1 out and nobody on. They give Kadire credit for a base hit. Hometown scoring, his 3rd hit of the game. And Parnell appreciating the throw by Marlon Bird, who has been tremendous. He hits the home run to give the Mets the lead, and he makes the throw to help preserve it for the moment. Rosario 2 for 3 today, and he takes a fastball at 98 for a strike. Rosario doubled and scored a run in the second, singled to center in the 4th.
Think about it, Gary. Bird under 200 average last year, suspended. He's the Mets' 2nd best player right now.
Rosario lifts one foul, and we've been talking for days about the fact that Marlon Bird at age 35 probably could use a day off. Well, here the Mets traveled all night, got here to Colorado. He's in the lineup, and he's been the most important player on the field for the Mets today.
The most important player for them in June, certainly.
Parnell ahead on Rosario, 1-2. He struck him out. Parnell fans Rosario, 2 men down.
Great breaking ball here from Bobby Parnell. Rosario is a high fastball hitter. He counters with the low knuckle curve.
So now Todd Helton with the Rockies down to their final out. Belton has the only RBI for Colorado today, a sacrifice fly back in the second, otherwise 0 for 2. Diamondbacks beat the Nats in 11 innings on a suicide squeeze bunt by D.D. Gregorius. That's how the Nats will limp into New York tomorrow night. 2 out and nobody on. And Hilton grounds one to the right side. Parnell will have to cover, and the ball game is over. A huge win for the Mets to end the road trip in a makeup game in Colorado. Marlon Byrd with a 2-run homer in the 8th and a huge throw in the 9th. And the Mets win it 3-2 to finish off a 7-4 road trip.
Well, nice job by the pitching staff, too. Another great effort by Jeremy Hefner. Rice got a big out, and Carlos Gonzalez in the 8th inning, and Bobby Parnell now with his 14th save.
Well, a different Met team than the one that left Citi Field a week and a half ago. They finished off that homestand on a bright spot with the Neuenhuis walk-off home run, and they parlayed that into a spectacular road trip. 4 different stops, lots of travel, double headers, makeup games, 7 wins and 11 tries, and they'll fly home happy to have Matt Harvey on the mound against the Nats tomorrow night. There's your Time Warner Cable game summary as the Mets rally on Bird's 2-run homer in the 8th to win it 3-2 to finish off this 7-4 road trip as Parnell once again gets the job done in the 9th in back of Hawkins and Rice. For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to the Cats Women's Hospital and the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northshorelij.com/KIWH. This win brings the total contribution so far this season to $80,000. More coming up from Denver in just a moment.